Do you feel like you belong at William and Mary?
Yeah, especially in like pockets of friends. Yeah.
Yes, I'd say so.
Yeah, I feel like I belong at William and Mary. I love the people here, and yeah, it's just about the people.
Yes.
I do. I think I like the social culture here and the like balance between academics and like social life. So I do.
Yes, I think I do.
I think so. I think it like took some time and like meeting different people, but I feel like in a way everybody finds their people.
I think belong is a strong word. I feel like I belong with my friends and stuff. The community that I've formed, those are the people that I really feel like I belong with.
Like, just have this confidence that like no one's gonna make me feel like I'm out of place. I'm here for a reason. It's all a part of my journey, and yeah, so I think that goes a long way as well.
The phrase, "those who come here belong here," is something incredibly familiar to most students at William and Mary. When asked, most would tell you that they do feel welcome here, whether that's within their direct friend group or some kind of club or org that they've joined. But what does it mean in the context of lived experience on campus?
Where do I feel most accepted? I would definitely say my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Those are my sisters. I love them so much. I think the rest of the D9, the historically Black fraternities and sororities, they're all very welcoming and accepting, and they help me feel like a family.
In the orgs I have joined and the like friends I made, honestly pretty early on.
I feel like I'm kind of accepted everywhere. I mean, probably the most with my closest friends, but like I don't feel like I really have to change to be around people.
Yeah, I do know people who think the whole "you belong" schmeal is like, I think people do think it's kind of a little played out and that, you know, it's only on paper. But because of the communities I've been immersed in, I do feel like I belong.
Probably in our dorm room hall, because we're all friends and we all get along pretty well. So I think that creates kind of a sense of safety and community.
I really like the Center for Student Diversity. I feel like that's where a lot of the school's Black community kind of like goes to just hang out. People are really friendly. Like I sat down there like I didn't know anyone in the room at first, and then by the end of like 10 minutes I'd been introduced to everyone there, and it was really nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Belonging can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It might mean having a good group of friends who make you feel loved, or even just being around people who are like you. So, what does belonging mean in terms of diversity on campus?
It's definitely a more diverse campus than where I'm from, but also I think that compared to the makeup of the surrounding Williamsburg community, it feels like the campus is pretty white.
I know like really just in my high school, like we didn't have anything culturally, and I know like being here, I was from a very like, it was not diverse in my city. Like it was only Black and white, so like coming here, like I go to a lot of like cultural festivals and stuff, and like I feel like I'm exposed to a lot more here.
Obviously there's like the cultural orgs, but there's also like underground and Black Post Society and organizations like that are like creative spaces too. So yeah, I think you can make it what you like, get from it what you want, even though it is predominantly like a white student body.
I feel like William and Mary kind of gets painted as like a white campus. You know, it's for white people, because I know when I first got in and I was like deciding to go here, I know that my mom, she was worried because she was like, are you gonna be around any Black people, right? Are you gonna be around people that look like you and understand your struggles? And I'm glad that I found the community that's here for me.
But unfortunately, just under 100 years ago, this was very much not the case. Women and minorities have long been excluded from William and Mary and the education that you can receive here. Do you know when women were first admitted to William and Mary?
I do not.
1920.
1950 or something like that.
I feel like it was in the 20th century. Like, was it like 19 something?
Couldn't tell you. I'm going to assume around 100 years ago.
Oh, I do not know when women were first admitted to William and Mary. I'm guessing in the 20th century, but I don't know.
Almost no one that I interviewed got this question correct, and I don't blame them. Until very recently, I was frankly unaware of how short a time it had been since I personally would not be allowed to go here as a student. In the fall of 1918, 24 women joined the class of 1921 at William and Mary. They received a lot of backlash from the male students at William and Mary in their class, but soon earned leadership positions on campus and in student organizations. They also eventually became the most extraordinary students the college had ever had. The first woman to graduate from William and Mary was Martha Elizabeth Barksdale. She graduated in June 1921 with a Bachelor of Arts degree and later came back to teach as a physical education teacher, as well as co-founding the Alpha Society, which is a secret society of women at William and Mary. The Barksdale Treble Chorus and the Barksdale soccer field next to Lemon and Hardy is named after her. But the conversation is much more complicated when it comes to minority representation. William and Mary as an institution has a history of using enslaved laborers to build the college and maintain it, as well as housing a residential Indian school to educate indigenous children. So how can William and Mary offer equality and inclusion to Black students after having a history of forced slave labor on campus? The first women and people of color on the campus of William and Mary were enslaved peoples who cooked and cleaned for the faculty and students during the late 18th and early 19th century. These were people either owned by the college or owned by people who worked at the school. In 1951, Hullon Willis Sr. enrolled in the William and Mary Summer Graduate Program for the School of Education. He was the very first Black student at William and Mary. Shortly after him, Edward Augustus Travis is admitted to the law school in 1954, and he soon becomes the first African American man to graduate from William and Mary. After them was Oscar Hauser Blayton, who arrived in 1963 and became the first Black undergraduate student at William and Mary. In 1967, the first African American female students are admitted to William and Mary. Their names are Karen Eli, Lynn Briley, and Janet Brown. 20 years later, in 1988, the student body elects its first Black American homecoming queen, Charlene Renee Jackson. So, what duty does William and Mary have to educate its students on its disturbing past? Are they doing a good enough job of making that information accessible, despite it painting the college in a negative light?
Do you feel aware or particularly knowledgeable about the racist and sexist past in college, and if so, how?
Not as much as I should be. Like, Hearth is there, and it's something that we kind of pass every day. And so I think there's definitely an effort to acknowledge, hey, like, enslaved people built this campus, but also it's not really talked about. It's just kind of a monument that is treated as history and not something that is still here in the present.
I've taken, I think, just the areas that I study, like my public policy class and my history classes, a lot of times in those fields, I feel like there tends to be more of an acknowledgement of like the systemic racism and stuff that is kind of affected William and Mary, or that William and Mary has played into.
I mean, I took a class last semester that was more generally about the racist past of Williamsburg and like how like the restoration of colonial Williamsburg like displaced a lot of people and was just a lot of gentrification and stuff. So, and also the school played a big part in that, honestly. So I do know a little bit about that.
In 2009, the Board of Visitors passed a resolution for the Lemon Project, named after a former enslaved man who worked on campus. It aims to educate and research on the Black past of the college and Williamsburg as a whole, as well as pave the way for more considerations to be made for diverse perspectives. Classes taught thanks to the Lemon Project have provided an opportunity for students taking American Studies, African American Studies, History, and Gender and Sexuality classes to learn more about the institution's racial history. In the executive summary made by Michael O'Halloran in 2019, he described the Lemon Project as work diligently to build a bridge between this campus and the community. They aim to break down whatever literal and figurative walls surround William and Mary and find more ways to understand the lives of the enslaved peoples as individuals and families throughout the 17th, 18th, and 19th century. In many ways, there is much to be done when it comes to reconciling the unfortunate past of William and Mary. But what's important to remember is that diversity makes our college beautiful. When I was conducting these interviews, I couldn't help but feel incredibly lucky to be surrounded by such intelligent, kind, and diverse friends, whose perspectives were extremely valuable to this project. As a community, we are better for our differences, and that's all thanks to the people who blazed a trail for diversity, equity, and inclusion at William and Mary.